And welcome. Yes, we're back. Creator willing. Episode number 44 of Learn to Unlearn. I knew it was going to happen once I start talking. I start coughing because I don't have very many people to talk to around here recently. I don't. So when I start talking, I start coughing right away. Excuse me. This is it's a mix of tonic water, quinine tonic water, and cranberry juice. Really good mix. I found that out from my neighbor that just recently passed, my 92-year-old neighbor that I talk so much about. And yes, I'd like to welcome everybody to a new episode of Learn to Unlearn, hopefully without coughing too much. Exactly what we need to do in order to understand how the body works. And yes, I did say understand as we go inside. When I was doing shows with Barbara Three Crow and Patty Walking Turtle, when Barbara spoke, she always used to say, we need to understand. And that's exactly what it is. It's to understand. It's to understand inside. It's to go inside, like we're always talking about in my show, about going inside. Well, this week was really hard, very hard. It was a huge disappointment for me, and in such a short time frame, too. And I'd like to walk everybody through it. You know, it's one of those times when you get together with yourself and you sit down and you go, well, you know what? It's time to get real. It's going to get real. We're not going back to the hospital. No, we're not going to get tested for anything. You know, so here we are at home, just you and me. Let's figure it out. We need to do something without any external help. Besides, you know, your good friends and your brothers and sisters and family and stuff. And I'm convinced that I can. And I stand at that proverbial fork in the road, as my friend Sherman online sends me, just to, you know, every once in a while you come to that proverbial fork in the road. The other update real quick that I'd like to throw in is that I updated my saw palmetto and my milk thistle. I doubled it just because something told me to do it. Something just said, hey, Luke, you know, do it. But it was yesterday's bloodletting. Oh, my God. Between the night before last and yesterday, I was so discouraged. It's like, it's so frightening, too, because, you know, our basic inability to heal ourselves because we were not taught how to, because, you know, that's what the Rockefeller medicine establishment was there for. You know, and, you know, we had to sit there, and for me this time it was, it just decided to continue to bleed. And I mean, real blood. I don't mean, you know, the blood with other body fluids in it. This was real solid blood, and it was just coming out, and I felt a little, you know, and it just started bleeding, and it didn't stop. And all I could do is sit there and, you know, bleed, clean it up, bleed and clean it up. And again, no need for pictures, right? But, you know, at the end of the first flow, you know, it just would not stop for a good 5 minutes. So that really freaked me out. And you just sit there on the couch after that and you go, you know, now what? What does this mean too? You know, like what's going on? And there's no lightheadedness. There's no loss of blood. You know, there's no alarms going off. No, it's just stuff that has to happen. And when you think of it, that's where the refuse has to go anywhere. So, but here comes the best part. You know, you think that was bad. No, this is not going to be a dramatic bummer show, because some of the best things just happened between now and then, the end of that, and actually less than an hour ago. I'll start with last night, because this is it's got to be rudimentary. I have to write down notes. I was writing times down. I was watching my clock to make sure, I don't deviate yet from, how many hours of sleep, when do I have to get up and go to the bathroom? Oh, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So this got really interesting because in the middle of last night, I noticed my sleep was increasing, going from like 11 o'clock at night to 1:30, and then from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And I noticed because I watch the clock every time I get up, and it was not like your 2 hours sleep limit um, that I'm slowly having to get accustomed to. And I knew something was up with that. I was sleeping longer, and I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Off to the bathroom to do what I always have to do. First flow ended, and then there was nothing. No backflow, no urine, none of that. It just stopped. It just went away. No need for cleaning at all. The pressure was not there. Everything just suddenly stopped. So it was like, okay, quickly clean up and, get dressed and act like you kind of forgot about it, but you want to sit there and run around in circles and scream your head off because you're so happy. What a change from yesterday when it felt like, I was not in control of this vehicle, right? So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully for the best, I'm hoping. And as it happens most times with spiritual instinct and messages, I started to put wallpaper on my PC. And, I like doing that because my PC is hooked up HDMI with my TV. So I have beautiful images that I can put on there. And, you have the time as well. And it's really nice. This particular one in my face. And it's like, you know how I am. I like to see what things mean, and there's got to be a reason for things that happen, right? Because there's too many beautiful things that happen. There's got to be a reason for them. Beautiful image of a mountain lake, and how I'd love to swim in it, right? Because that's what I had previously done water therapy for my back, which I will talk about in a few minutes, when I broke my back in half. Practicing weightlessness as far as, treading water and healing. Unbelievable. So I saw myself in there, in that lake. And then the message came, oh, I've been taking showers at home for 5 years now. Never took a bath. Never like to. If you're single, you take a shower, you're a guy, whatever, But then I said to myself, wow, Epsom salt. So now I'm going to start to think of other salts and other ingredients that can really help. Anybody can put a list in comments if they want to, which will be really helpful. And like I said, I've never used the bath in all this time in my residence. So it's time for a change, Hey, lie down in the bath in hot water like that. So I'll be exploring all that, and we'll be talking about that probably in the next few shows, and what you can put in the bath water. And I know for a fact, and I love talking about this because this is Native American tradition, is that Geronimo's wife used to put rose petals in the baby's bath water to help their skin grow stronger and make for a better, stronger, healthier child. Pretty powerful stuff. So here we go again, trying really quickly to let you know all these changes that, that happened this week. Some devastating, and then the next day, wow, a beam of light, a beam of sunlight, However, one thing that is not covered in this series is my back operation. In 1991, I fell from a mountain at 30 feet, and my back just pancaked, and I did a L4 or L3, I think it was, that had a nice peace sign. I cracked it in 3. At that time, it was the most advanced operation that you could take at that year. They had to have an English doctor come over to Canada from Britain. They flew him over, and he did the operation, and they went from the front through the organs to the back, and they reconstructed the back. They fused L3 to L5 solid, and placed a metal bar with 2 screws to hold it in place. So that could be coming to haunt me now as well, because my back is slowly compressing with the pressure. I'm locked here. So what's it going to do? It's going to go like this. It's trying to compensate. And I noticed I'm having a hard time standing straight when I get up. Yeah. But as my other cancer-causing issues fade away, it's like, hey, remember me? Remember my back pain? Because the body apparently can't handle 2 things at once. I noticed that. So more on that next week and on upcoming updates as well. And I thank everybody for watching and listening. And we're going to close with a couple of nice thoughts. And this could very well be of importance. This series could very well be of importance in healing naturally without chemo or radiation. So we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching.